Just this way.
Right. Where is it, Olivia?
It's in a container. Yeah.
Yes?
The safest place I found, yeah. Yeah.
Under lock and key?
Oh yeah, definitely under the lock and key, yeah.
Night and day?
Night and day, and my flat is just above, yeah.
So you can watch it?
Yeah, and if anybody was trying to break in, the dogs will, I got 2 dogs, and they will hear the noise, and yeah. That's one of the safest places to put a bike, in really a container. There you are.
Oh, there's 2! Oh, look! What's your excuse? Why did you decide on a Harley?
I wanted one since I was 10 years old. My grandfather had an Harley.
Your granddad?
Yeah, in 1940s he had a WA. Yeah.
What, in France?
Yeah, in France, in Brittany, yeah. And both my father and mother as well had motorbike. And one of my uncle had an Harley as well in 1950s, a dual glide. And since then I always wanted one.
But you've got soft hands. I mean, you've got cook's hands. I mean, nice fingernails, aren't they? Beautifully clean. You can take a bike to bits?
Yes, I do, yes. Yes.
Yourself?
Yeah, you have to anyway, you know, to get the cost down. And yeah, I can do every 6 months I do my maintenance myself, like the oil change. I've done the chain change, plugs, filters, oil filters, all the bolts and nuts to be tightened. You do all that yourself, yes. Just a question to nicely clean it after if I go back in a restaurant, really.
Right. What's the attraction of riding it?
The attraction of, well, Harley or motorbike in general?
Harley.
It's a way of life. It's you know, just something you'll dream of. Like some people will be an American car, like a Corvette, and they dream of a Corvette. And as soon as you own a Harley, you have to, like in England, we go to rally or we go for meeting. You imagine yourself in USA. You know, you can imagine yourself, you know, like with a kind of American music and going along the highway.
And so we're off on the highway. This bunch off to do what?
Head out on the highway.
Off to bite the heads off chickens, or as it was put by the Earl of St. Germans, to have the most sublime feeling.
Make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of the guns at once and explode into space. I like smoke and lightning. Heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under. Yeah, I gotta go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild.
On the beach at Corsand, why is it they do strike a certain image, which to some extent they perpetuate? They're the only ones wearing leather, the so-called free, the only ones in what resembles a uniform. It's always been a loose alliance, Britain and the USA. But rock and roll and Westcountry cream teas, well, there's no reason they can't go together.
They look terrifying. They never cause any trouble here. In fact, they often, get letters from the chief constable saying, how nice it was to have you in our county and how well you behaved.
When you put your legs across the Harley to the world, you're different.
That's their impression.
It's a special bike.
That's what they think, yeah.
It's a special look.
They're victims of their own paranoia to a certain extent.
To a certain extent?
Yeah, well, I've had you get in the earlier down the road, and the favourite trick is you get in the van and you just bumble down in the van and you get little old biddies walking across with the kiddies across the pavement, and they just don't take a blind bit of notice of you and they walk across. You come down on the bike making lots of noise. They grab their kids and drag them across the road, like, you know, as if you're going to rip their heads off.
We've been lucky in some respects in the fact that because we're a member of this club and we've strived to uphold our image as a clean, sort of honest bike club, then we have raised ourselves above, in some respects, the bad type of image that normally goes around. But there's always the people, the minority, that would see a group of bikers going through town and immediately think the worst. And we still get some public house owners that refuse a service.
Most of the guys you've seen at this rally have got facial hair.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of moustache, big beard. Most of them wear leathers, but it's just part of the scene. It's all practical as well. I mean, leather trousers protect you if you fall off. A leather jacket does the same. Things like that. I mean, it's practical as well, but it does sort of go into sort of fashion as well.
But the moustache is not practical, is it? I mean, that's a bit of...
Oh, that is practical. It keeps my top lip warm when I'm going along on the bike, you know.
Do the others know you don't drink?
Yeah, it's surprising. There's a lot of people I do know ride bikes that don't drink. And some of them some evil-looking creatures. You think it's drug-abusing, womanising yippies and stuff, and they turn out to be quite the exact opposite, actually. Sort of people that don't drink, they don't smoke, nice to animals and kind of little old ladies, but that doesn't make them a different person at the end of the day.
Right.
The Cray brothers used to dress up nice and smart. Didn't make them nice people, did it?
No.
And the Yorkshire Ripper probably wore a tie as well, so just as well he didn't ride an Harley Davidson, isn't it?
The Harley Davidson riders on the Earl's estate, they come up to the village and use the pub, don't they?
Yes, that's right. Yes, they do.
Yes.
Yes, every year they come. They have an annual event every year.
Are they
Smashing.
trouble?
No trouble at all.
Really?
Really. The bikes are not the quietest in the world, but they're beautiful bikes, and they're very pleasant people. They're
But they're
always
hairy.
polite.
They look fearsome, some of them.
Well, I suppose so.
Rebellious.
Different.
Yes.
Yes, different. That's all right.
But no trouble.
Never any trouble. No. More trouble from the locals than we get from them.
Oh, we always have trouble from the locals, don't we? Some drank, but some drank like boo. A lot of orange juice. Wild ones? Growing old disgracefully? Well, Marlon Brando's a granddad now.
Obviously, when the membership application is sent in, there's a small amount of research just to see if the person is, you know, a sort of type we'd like in the club.
What do you mean, sort of type?
That's a bit of a leading question there.
Well, of course it is, yeah.
But yeah, obviously, if somebody's got some kind of record or some person that's got some past history of causing any sort of trouble, then obviously it's not going to bring a good name on the club if they get involved and then cause trouble for us.
Do you have to be careful in the club that you don't get invaded by people who are really rough, just interested in being rough? Hell's Angels, Satan's slaves.
Oh, any of the outlaw clubs, they keep themselves to themselves. You don't get any aggravation at the club, those. Most people are on a level, and they got nothing to prove. Occasionally you might get one or two, but they don't go far. You might get a skirmisher, you get that anywhere. Get that in your average nightclub every week. So in the 10 years I've been in the club, I don't think I've seen more than a couple of scuffles, and that was about it. And that was from non-members then.
There are members in this club that were former backpack wearers,
Satan's slaves or...
angels or whatever.
Yeah.
But they just want to ride around on their bikes without all the commitments that the backpatch club would want.
People who clean their act up come to you.
Could say that, yeah.
Very peaceful. Some shoot each other with water pistols, and some snore together on their blankets on the ground, but girl guides do that.
Very nice way to spend the weekend, actually. I mean, you can see how people are, you know, they wander around in twos and threes and gather around a bike and then move off. It's just very calm, pleasant weekend.
The Earl of St. Germans should know. His Grace, or Perry as the bikers call him, hosted travellers once, and these are not they. His lawns on Tuesday will be clean as a pin. They're duster trained, these boys. These bikes, you see, with customised accessories at 10 grand a piece. 100 of them on the Earl's field. It's 1 million knickers worth of merchandise. Merchandise? Way of life. We live to ride. It's a dream. Cowboys out on the range, barbecuing while their herds of Harleys graze.
Jeez. Anyone want a fried egg?
You ain't got a fried egg. Attached to my veggie burger.
The veggie burger won't kill you, the grass certainly won't.
No, that's it. It's all green.
Is this just a bike, Boo, or is it a bit of you?
Oh, it's an obsession, I think. So therefore it must end up as a bit of me.
Do you have a car?
Yes.
What car?
Just an anonymous Astra for work. Just utilitarian transport to earn enough money to cosset my Harley. Cosset my passion. This is what it is, it's my passion.
The emphasis is on cosset. Cosset and nurture. It's been a lovely weekend. Now it's time to go. Leave a dream out west with your own chosen tribe. It's time to make the trail home. Put the panniers back on your passion and back to being a bank clerk, to serve in the restaurant, to be behind the counter of a shop. Come on, Rover. The weekend's over. Time to saddle that animal, agricultural animal, and ride the beast home.